Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another book review. I'm trying to be really quiet because Dad's asleep in the next room, and I'm going to be going to bed in a few minutes, actually. I just recently finished reading The Rithmatist by Sanderson, and really drawback about this particular book is that Mr. Sanderson has not written a sequel as of yet. I think he might be working on it, but this is what you consider a gearpunk book, and there really aren't that many gearpunk novels out there. Steampunk as well, but it's probably one of the best written books I've ever read in a good long while. It's very inventive, it's very innovative, creative. It's got a lot of concepts in it that are reminiscent of, say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, or what was it? Duel Master. Well, I didn't even like Duel Masters. Duel Masters was absolutely ridiculous, but I could say it's most like that, or Beyblade even. Maybe Kaijudo would be more along the lines of the system that they have here, but this actual battle system is very, very interesting. It's absolutely fascinating. It's based on mathematics and geometry and, like the book says, arithmetic, and that's why they're called Rithmatists. They're all trained at a specific academy, but they have to be blessed by a preacher at first, and some were given rhythmatic abilities and some not. It doesn't really say where the non-rhythmatists go. I guess they attend other schools, but there's something very unbelievable happening in the Rithmatist itself. I'm not going to say what, so you have to read it for yourself to see exactly what occurs, and it's really quite phenomenal. And just in this sense, it makes you think of the phrase, "the pen is mightier than the sword." In this case, it would be chalk is mightier than the sword. Some parts of this actually reminded me of Full Metal Alchemist. I guess the whole thing about drawing a circle in alchemy and transmuting, I always think of that, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely love this, because there's so much alchemy involved in this particular book, and I really hope that Mr. Sanderson writes another chapter. And I wish I could say that there are more gearpunk and steampunk books out there, because I would totally read them. I haven't written very many steampunk things myself, but I do like writing. I've never done gearpunk, but I think I would be good at it. I've really enjoyed writing steampunk. And anime has quite a bit of this. The closest thing I can think of would be Steam Boy, which is absolutely sensational. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and it has that Victorian backdrop, which I really like. And then you've got, let's see, well, the Sherlock movies, I think, are steampunk, or yeah, they're steampunk, and so was Lone Ranger. It had some elements of steampunk or gearpunk, and Wild Arms does, and of course the most notable of all anime series out there, I think Trigun is probably the most well known, because there are so many different elements of mechanics involved. And then One Piece, of course, if you talk about what's his face? Is his name Jimmy or something? I can't remember. But he's a cyborg. And the series I'm really enjoying quite a bit, because I get to see the whole series for once, and it was something I grew up with when I was a teenager and going into my 20s, and then I had a crush on Sanji. Still have a crush on Sanji, can admit to that. The series is absolutely astonishing in the way it's written, and all the characters are very likable. Even the villains, you want to love to hate them. Melody, I think, is one of my absolute favorite characters because she's kind of a non-conventionalist, and she has a lot of raw talent. And there's something that she's prime suspect of, and of course her friend Joel backs her up and says, no, there's no possible way that she could have done such a thing. She doesn't even know how to draw this specific defense, and he keeps offering evidence on her behalf. And of course, they all believe that she couldn't have been responsible for this absolutely atrocious act that occurred. But it's rather interesting. I really quite enjoy it, and I highly recommend it to anybody, especially those of you out there who like gearpunk and steampunk, because like I said, those books are really hard to come by, and we all have anime, so I know a lot of you don't really care for that, but for those of us who want to write something new, I would suggest gearpunk, because there are few and far between books that really capture your imagination, and Mr. Sanderson, he really does quite the beautiful job, I do believe, and especially describing this North America of the future and how they're all subdivided, and there's only one capital, and they're all trained in Nebraska, which is Nebraska, and they're all trained at an academy, and there's quite a little bit of Harry Potter to that, I think, and there are some similarities between Harry Potter and the Rithmatist, and it just had that feel, that all kind of sense of mystique, I do believe, that keeps it intriguing to the reader, and I could not put this down. I just couldn't do it. As hard as I tried, I just wanted to know more, and also it has really great illustrations of the different defenses that are used, and it's just really quite an epic book, and I highly recommend it. 2 thumbs way up.